Hi, I know this is probably really weird for me to voice note, but Ren, get this. I was going through Leavenborn Library's archives and I found this really cool article in a journal about a mysterious demi-human from Flowtail. Uh, I don't really know who wrote it. The author didn't put their name in the article anyway, but but man, how crazy is that? Like, okay, I'll read it to you. For as long as people can remember, the myth about one peculiar fish demi-human has always been a myth that has two iterations. But locals can agree that the myth involves the creation of Flowtail, just the small province in the southeast of Cardontia. The myth of Volantias o Ladha, a flying fish demi-human, and simply known as Lanlan by the locals, is a myth about how she brought joy to people by reading them stories during the sunset until the early morning. First iteration of this myth involves a little girl who stumbled upon a robed individual. This figure introduced themselves as Lanlan and offered a story to tell. The story would inspire the little girl to make the very first library in Flaus back then when it was still part of the Melvarn province. It was never told which library this was, given the many libraries in Flowtail, but it is speculated that it was the oldest library in the province, the Flaus Library. I think you know that, yeah. Then the second iteration is when Lanlan was hiding among the locals from the Cardontian regime. As at the time, the Cardontian regime forbade any demi-human to enter Cardontia because they were deemed a danger to the country if not executed on the spot. Oh my god. Lanlan would stay in Flaus because of the people's natural accepting nature towards the foreign. People would build wait. Oh, sorry. I meant to say she would build a community where she would gather people so she could tell her stories. Mainly stories about myths of Bavanchi. Wait, really? Oh. Many writers would come to Flaus to visit Lanlan. They would retell her stories through words and scriptures, later into books to preserve her stories. It is speculated that this is how we know so much about Babanchi's myth to this day, thanks to these writers. People recounted Lanlan's appearance in many books, but one book that stood out was written by Nictonima Arcano in Figures of Lady Vexi in 1905. Nictonima claimed that Lanlan was sent by Lady Vexi for Flowtail, as figures of Lady Vexi usually take on a humanoid figure. For Lanlan, she is 70% human and 30% flying fish. Lanlan's skin is brown, like sand in the ocean. Her ears are ear fins of light blue and pink color. Her hair is short, blue to beige ombre on the end. She is described to have yellow or gold eyes, depending on which source material you read. She is also often depicted with white markings on her, another mark of Flowtail's tradition where her markings are meant to represent creativity that flows in the blood of each individual. Okay, for clothes, she is often described wearing a one-piece bodysuit with a light blue color with yellow accents. Her head is adorned with a traditional Flowtailian headpiece called the Flora of Flowtail, consisting of flowers that originated from the province itself. She is also described to have worn a sheer cape that mimicked the fins of a flying fish, and she was said to have the creativity and beauty like no other. Another source would later describe her appearance differently, one that sparked the first iteration of Lanlan's myth. She is said to be robed from head to toe in used rags. Around her neck was a loose net that acted like a necklace. Her head was covered by her hood, shrouding her entire head but her face. Due to this mysterious depiction, she was often speculated to have never been a demi-human. It is no surprise that this depiction of Lanlan caused controversy among the people of Flotale. Flotalians argued that it erased Lanlan's identity, hence why this depiction is not as popular as the first one. Uh, the last depiction is mostly given and recounted by children. Children who grew up allegedly knowing who Lanlan was said that she wasn't a demi-human, but a flying fish, around 3 feet tall with her tail acting like legs. She wears a purple dress where her hands were fins, but just behind her head was a bow matching the color of the dress. The validity of each story or depiction has yet to be confirmed, but neither does Lanlan's existence. While all depictions are recounted by the people of Cardontia, none of them really give out definitive proof that Lanlan ever existed. Some locals have said that they saw what they believed to be Lanlan in the waters of Cardontia. Some fishermen said that they found an island with a large cave in a cliff. Inside it was a river that led to a cabin, well lived and taken care of. Though recent studies show that the same cabin had long been abandoned and believed to belong to an old fisherman who had passed away somewhere in the 20th century. Despite all of the debate regarding the enigmatic, I can't pronounce this word. Despite all the debate regarding the enigmatic Lanlan, people of Flotale still regard her as a demi-human worth to remember, for she was the only demi-human who has had their stories wiped out during the book burnings of 2005, along with many people remembering this demi-human who touched many people's heart with her stories. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much everything for the article. I just thought you should listen to this pretty cool myth and such. Not because I think you're too serious on the whole sciencey thing. I know you, Ren, but I just really want to gush about this through voice note instead of chat because it's too interesting to tell through chat, you know? Okay. Anyway, I hope you remember that we have a meeting today in the library around 3. Group project and all.